San Diego Comic-Con 2019 revealed a bunch of new movies and TV shows that will comprise MCU Phase Four. One of the most notable inclusions in the next chapter of the franchise is a fourth Thor movie, which will be entitled Thor: Love and Thunder. Rather excitingly, it was revealed that Natalie Portman will be portraying the female Jane Foster version of Thor in the movie, who director Taika Waititi revealed will be referred to as the Mighty Thor. So what exactly will the movie entail? Well, by looking a little deeper into its title and indeed the history of Jane Foster as Thor in the comics, we have a pretty good idea. So yeah, there are definitely layers in the title of Thor: Love and Thunder that can help us decipher what Thor 4 will be about. We can immediately assume that love refers to Jane and Thor's romantic history, but given that we know Tessa Thompson is returning to play Valkyrie, it could also be a reference to her character's search for a queen to rule New Asgard alongside her, as Thompson has confirmed her character will be the first LGBTQ hero in the MCU. Obviously, Thunder is a reference to Thor's title, God of Thunder, and in turn his iconic power to create and manipulate storms using Mjolnir. But this mantle and power will seemingly be handed off to Jane in the film, which could lead to a fairly thunderous confrontation between the former lovers if there's a tense reunion between Jane and Thor in the movie. They haven't spoken since 2014's Thor: The Dark World, so all kinds of sparks could fly if they reunite when both of them have superpowers. Chris Hemsworth's character will probably spend most of it in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and his appearance may be nothing more than a cameo. Intriguingly, it would seem we can even take some information from the styling of the movie's title. The Thor: Love and Thunder title logo was unveiled along with the movie's name at Comic-Con, and it felt reminiscent of two very specific logos from pop culture's past. Both 1980s cartoon Masters of the Universe and late 80s video game Golden Axe had very similar looking logos. Given what we already know about 2017's Thor Ragnarok, there's no doubt whatsoever that this styling could hint at the visual and tonal direction Taika Waititi wants to take Thor: Love and Thunder in. It may well utilize the same kind of witty and often silly humor, bright colors, soundtrack, and nostalgia as its predecessor. And now on to the potential finer details of Jane Foster's role. How did she become worthy of wielding Mjolnir in the comics? Jane first appeared on panel in 1962's Journey into Mystery number 84, but it wasn't until 2014's Thor Volume 4 number 1 that she became the new Thor. The original God of Thunder had lost his ability to wield Mjolnir after Nick Fury whispered something in his ear. The powerful weapon then remained on the moon after it became evident that Thor and even Odin couldn't budge it. But by the end of the issue, a then unidentified female character arrived and lifted the hammer as the inscription on the weapon changed to "Whosoever holds this hammer, if she be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." It was eventually revealed that Mjolnir had telepathically sought out Jane Foster, so she sought Heimdall's assistance to take her to the hammer's location. Of course, Heimdall perished in the MCU, so that won't be able to happen in the same way, but there are plenty of other characters she could seek out to help her. When Jane successfully lifted Mjolnir, she instantly underwent a transformation and gained the power of Thor. She made the decision to keep her new powerful identity a secret, but it drove the original God of Thunder crazy not knowing who the mystery woman was that took control of his hammer. The newly powerful Jane jumped right into heroic action, getting in the middle of the feud between Malekith the Accursed and the Frost Giants. And hopefully she'll jump into action in the same way in the MCU. But what could we expect in terms of the specific effects of Jane's transformation? Well, when she lifted Mjolnir in the comics, she acquired all of Thor's powers, such as flight, interdimensional transportation, and electricity and weather manipulation. Her transformation also greatly altered her appearance. Every time she lifted the hammer, her physique changed to match her newfound strength, and a helmet manifested on her head, which now had long blonde hair like Thor. But not all of the effects were positive. Prior to becoming the new Thor, Jane had been diagnosed with breast cancer, but she refused to undergo any kind of magical treatments and took a chance with a more traditional chemotherapy instead. Sadly, however, each time Jane transformed into Thor, there were negative effects on her well-being as a result of that. The transformation process purged all toxins from her body, including the treatment for her cancer. She eventually sought help from Doctor Strange, one of only a few people who knew her true identity, and he advised her to stop transforming as the next time could kill her. So could we see this upsetting story in the MCU with Benedict Cumberbatch's character making an appearance? But the question remains regarding how Jane will even get her hands on Mjolnir, given that it was destroyed by Hela in Thor Ragnarok. Well, now that time travel is a thing in the MCU, there's always a chance it could be plucked from a different timeline, but that seems unlikely. What is likely, however, is that as the new Queen of Asgard, Valkyrie will resurrect the age-old relationship between her home realm and Nidavellir and ask Peter Dinklage's Atri to make a new Mjolnir. Jane was probably worthy in the comics due to the fact that she'd worked as a nurse. Perhaps it will be her bravery in helping her defeat Malekith in Thor the Dark World that will render her worthy of the newly forged hammer. Or maybe she's been busy doing something else to make the world a better place since we last saw her. Either way, it's an exciting prospect that we're getting a female version of the Mighty Thor in live action. So what do you think Thor Love and Thunder will be about? How will Jane Foster become worthy of wielding Thor's hammer? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Screen Rant for more great videos like this one. See you next time, guys.